What's up? Welcome to podcast number 15. We're pre-recording this early, just so there can be one extra podcast recorded in Sweden with Naty. It's our last one together.
Yeah, but hey, we had a pretty good one.
Yeah, had a great time with you.
Yep.
Today in Companions, we enter Act 2 of the show, so we're well over halfway done.
So, quick question. We're not just shifting all the segments they in order every time.
Yes, they're in a
Good.
order now, yes.
It was so confusing with switching the orders.
Okay.
So, yeah.
This one, good, okay. So, Act 2, Scene 1. We're once again with Regis. The villains have brought him to Pook's guild house in Kalimport, explaining that Irenicus has taken it over as a base of operations and is preparing for some sort of experiment. Two of the local guild thieves, who have been driven mad by Irenicus's magic and are kept around for living sacrifices, recite a poem from Baldur's Gate 2 that I really like. I've always wanted to borrow it for some purpose. As Jarlaxle and Treri and Bodhi discuss their evil plans, Regis sings a song called Dude in Distress. As with several previous songs, I only know how the melody of the chorus goes. I'm a dude in distress, but I'm gonna be brave, so hang me from the wall, let me rot in a cave. I'll screw with your plans up until I am saved, and I will stare down my grave. And that "and I" part will be a different note every chorus. Let's just see if that works. And just like a previous song had a bridge made up entirely of Disney princess lyrics, this song has a bridge consisting entirely of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic references, and yeah, that's the whole scene. The scene ends when the song does. Maybe by the time I'm done talking about the musical in another 12 weeks, there'll actually be some more stuff to share. If things go well with Brian, and I finally have the music, then there'll come a time to think about costumes and venue and actually putting on the musical at some point. We'll see where things are then. In the Team Salmon segment today, I'll give you one last shot at that.
Salmon!
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you clipped that one. You clipped the hell out of that one.
What?
Mic clipping when it hits the edges.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to talk about actual plans for the team, the company, the thing. At some point in the future, I want to bring the team together, actually put together these animation projects, like first the choices, and then probably some sweet kind of vampire, maybe our pack and page turners. And while we're still independent, I'm thinking that rotoscoped feature film based on The Eye of Argon. As I mentioned offhandedly before, The Eye of Argon is the worst fantasy novel ever written, and I'd love to turn it into a movie in the style of the self-serious rotoscoped fantasy animations. I'll talk about The Eye of Argon more in the next episode. I think I'm going to start writing a screenplay.
That's always good.
Yeah. As for the other Team Salmon ideas, Iris, Charlie the Trash Can, Whirlwind, maybe that Kingdom Hearts parody thing, those I intend to pitch to Rooster Teeth once TAPAS and stuff is kind of established, has something of a name, or at least some work floating around. Let's get real here. Most people who create animated series don't get to create 7 of them. I probably won't ever get every series on the agenda created, but I have enough ideas that surely some of them are bound to stick.
Yeah.
To that end, I'm wondering if my very large series of pitches shouldn't also include adaptations of some of my favorite things, you know? You know, that would be fulfilling to do as well. I mentioned recently pitching an animated adaptation of The Secrets of Droon to Rooster Teeth, see if they can license that. Other things I've seriously considered adapting in the past, I think I would also include in the pitch, and those are as follows. First, irregular webcomic, namely the fantasy theme. If you watch any of the other content on this channel, you'll know that the only other content I have so far is my Let's Play of Icewind Dale with a full cast. My party in that Icewind Dale playthrough are the stars of the fantasy theme of a regular webcomic and are voiced by me and 5 of my theater friends. I'd love to give those characters their own cartoon show, not one that follows the exact plot of the comic, just something to do with the characters. It might even be something I could pull off licensing before having a company backing me. Either way, I'm totally going to do a fan dub of the fantasy theme using the same actors as appeared in the Let's Play. I wrote a script and all, gonna edit it whenever I get a chance to get all those actors together again. You know. On a similar note, there's Phoebe and Her Unicorn, the adorable webcomic turned newspaper comic. It's adorable. I've also written the script for a fan dub of its pre-newspaper days. I know I want Amy to play Phoebe. And, yeah, an actual cartoon adaptation of the comic would be fun. Yay!
Yay!
Up next, I'm thinking Myth Adventures, the book series that formed my perspective on comedy and interdimensional travel. I wrote a screenplay adaptation of the first book back when I was 13. Wish I still had that. But perhaps an animated series adapting the books. It would be exactly Rooster Teeth's style, comedy-wise. You know what I really like? Nomad of Nowhere. Its animation style is just really quirky and cheap and yet dazzling at the same time. I want to do that. Nomad's art style would suit the Myth Adventures series perfectly. Also Droon.
Yeah.
Then there's The Thief, a book I wrote a report on in the 5th grade and have been reading every now and then ever since. It's a really fun story. I'd like to make a CGI animated movie out of it.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Possibly out of the sequels, which I've never actually read.
Yeah.
And then there's Bone. This amazing graphic novel series. I used to read it aloud to Zia when I was a teen and she was little. I would do all the voices and stuff. Just recently, Amy came home with a copy of the first book. Apparently she just saw it at the library and thought it looked cool.
Whoa.
And the memories just came rushing back to me and Zia.
Whoa.
Zia, as it turns out, not only remembered the series, but also my plans for adapting it that I'd shared with her.
Oh.
I dreamed of turning the 9-book series into a movie trilogy, totally unabridged, as epic as The Lord of the Rings, with the Bone Cousins depicted with 2D animation, but everything else in the films, from the sets to the human characters to the monster and animal characters to even the clothes that the Bone Cousins wear, be live action or photorealistic special effects. It's probably crazy, but hey, maybe an animated series, every book a season, every chapter an episode. That'll be a cool way to kill 9 years, right? And finally, Animorphs. I've always wanted to make it into an animated series, but never thought about it very hard. Recently I discovered the famous blog Cinnamon Bunza, which recaps and reviews the series. It certainly has a lot of flaws, but maybe those flaws can be fixed with a cartoon show canon, eh?
Yeah, I hope so.
One last thing I want to mention here that doesn't really fit any of the established TAPAS categories, just something I'd like to do with this channel. Grease, Gum, and Mud, a series of Let's Plays in which 3 characters, all of them voiced by me, riff on a game as well as going through a storyline of their own in the background. I've tried to figure out how to do some screen recording with my PlayStation 4, but I just couldn't figure it out, and that just got me too bummed out to try it again. But Grease, Gum, and Mud is a really important series to me, and I have to try it again someday, so I guess I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And now the final Droon book of the visit. There seems to be something wrong with my copy of the book. Like maybe there's something wrong with the printing. The front cover is a little blurry and all the illustrations are really faded, but that happens sometimes. Anyway.
Well, paperback books doesn't last forever. Surely you can find another book if that is not satisfying.
No, it's satisfactory. It's just a bit odd. You know, it's good enough for me.
Alright.
So, anyway, Book 15, The Moon Scroll, illustrated by Tim Jessel.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
Chapter 1, Pictures and Words. We open on Eric with his parents looking at pictures of him as a baby. Julie comes over in tears, demanding to go to Droon right now. Her dad's gotten a new job and they're moving away in a week. They call Neil over and the for sale sign turns into a message from Kia asking them to come quickly. When they arrive, it's around sunset in Droon. They're over a mountain range, and they immediately get ambushed by a bunch of nins. Chapter 2, Out of the Mouths of Lizards. Eric tries to fight the nins with magic. Kia and her parents arrive to rescue them, and there's a real battle. Apparently, the nins have been hunting for the Upperworld trio for some time. Kia's following Galen's directions and searching for the Moon Scroll, and believes the Guardians of the Tower of Memory know where to find it. Max shows up with a small box containing models of Bodo and Vaza, which tell them that the Moon Scroll will lead them to the Wand of Uruk, a magical artifact which can do magic beyond the ken of any wizard or sorcerer. The Guardians have given the information of where to find the moon scroll to Galen's copy, whom Neil dubs Nelag. As more Nins attack, they set off. Chapter 3, The Brightness of Shadows. Since Nelag always says the opposite of what he means, it takes them a moment to decipher his directions, but they find their way to the Forest of Bells, and then to the Ring of Giants, which is a massive circle of standing stones. At the center of the Ring of Giants is a stone disc bearing the glyph that represents Galen's name, and there they must wait for the moon scroll to come to them. There, they discuss with Kia that Julie is moving away, and that using magic to fix that might be a dangerous proposition. At moonrise, the scroll appears. The stone disc flies off into the air like a flying saucer, taking them away from the pursuing Nins. Chapter 4, Words and Pictures. He turned it around. Nice. Turns out that the epic poem written on the moon scroll is written backwards, so they give it to Nelag, who reads it aloud with ease. As it turns out, the scroll takes them back in time to witness the events it speaks of. A 12-year-old Galen is seen traveling in Droon with the Wand of Uruk. A stone goblin sent by Emperor Ko, see, I told you that name would be important, tries to take the wand from him, but Galen uses the wand to turn the goblin into a fountain. Later, Galen battles a fire goblin, and turns his cape to water to defeat it. The third goblin, a being of pure shadows, succeeds at nicking the wand from young Galen. The moon scroll says that Galen never saw the wand again, and it must be found if it's to be used to save Droon. Using information from the scenes, they determine that the wand must be in Ko's palace, in the Valley of Pits. Chapter 5, Under the Big Turban. It's morning when the stone disc takes them to a ridge. Down below they see two valleys, one full of holes, one littered with the pits from date palm trees. Kia realizes that the latter must be the real Valley of Pits, and there they meet Hoja, a man wearing a white robe and a turban large enough to serve as his home. He is searching for his flock of fluffums who have been missing for 5 centuries. He gives them dried palm leaves with which to dig through the pits to find Ko's palace. They dig for a while and find the entrance, marked with Ko's sigil, and the chapter ends with the pursuing Nins catching up to them for the 5th time in the book. Yeesh. Chapter 6, Lost in the Lost Palace. Yes, we're 6 chapters in, and every single one of the first 5 chapters ends with the Nins catching up to them. Yeah. Okay, it's at Chapter 6, Lost in the Lost Palace. Our crew seals themselves in Ko's palace. The candles they brought start growing as they shed light in the palace. They are entering the past. There they find Ko's treasures, for the Emperor was obsessed with conquering all of Droon. The pictures on the walls tell a story. Emperor Ko was a massive minotaur-like man with 3 eyes and 4 arms, and the pictures tell of all the battles he fought and places he conquered. As they study the artwork, a trapdoor opens beneath Eric's feet, and he's separated from the others. Chapter 7, One of Them. Eric finds himself in a golden room, the walls covered in depictions of a beautiful woman. Deciphering the text of the moon scroll, he determines that the woman was Zara, the Queen of Light, who was stolen by Ko. The artwork depicts Ko standing over her sickbed, accompanied by the 3 goblins, always at the bottom of a massive black staircase. And as Zara dies, a little boy weeps. The boy vanishes from the mural and appears beside Eric, and he turns out to be Zara's son, a young Spar. Kid Spar explains that Ko kidnapped Zara, the most powerful wizard of the age, and that after Zara died, he raised Spar to be a sorcerer. The others ride to Eric's rescue, and they attempt to engage Kid Spar in a magic duel, but they're in Gaul, where dark magic has a big edge over light. Kid Spar brings the goblins to life from the mural as well, and sets them after the heroes. Chapter 8, The Goblin Chase. The goblins chase the heroes through a maze that Spar calls the Playground. Nelag is able to navigate the maze perfectly, but the goblins are never far behind. Finally, they outmaneuver the goblins, and the Stone Goblin and Fire Goblin collide, apparently killing each other, but the Shadow Goblin catches up. They fight him off with bright light, which also reveals a sigil representing the Wand of Uruk. They press on it and enter a secret room. Chapter 9, Tomb of Ko, Tears of Spar. In the secret room, they find a casket shaped exactly like Emperor Ko, and those handy murals all over show that the Wand of Uruk was placed into the casket alongside the Emperor. Another mural reveals that the Wand of Uruk created the Rainbow Staircase. They pry the casket open and find it empty but for a single stick. Kid Spar bursts in and starts kicking their butts, but Eric defeats him by simply stating Zara's name, which causes the young sorcerer to collapse and burst into tears. Spar was a load-bearing boss, it seems, and the palace collapses as our heroes flee. Chapter 10, The Gift. They emerge into the Valley of Pits, where they are attacked once again by the armies of Nins. Hoja fends them off with the help of his herd of fluffums, massive pink creatures with elephant trunks and wool like sheep. He then turns his turban into a winding river, complete with a boat to bring them home. Hoja explains that he is the 7th genie of the Dove, who was tricked by the Shadow Goblin and has been waiting over 5 centuries for someone to find the Wand of Uruk. The kids are confused as they didn't find the wand at all, and yet Hoja says he is free. The rainbow stairs reappear, and the kids ascended. Much later, Eric looks through his family's photo albums, seeing a picture of himself, Julie, and Neil at 4 years old, climbing the apple tree. He starts to despair about Julie moving away, when the stick from Ko's tomb appears to him for the 3rd time. This time it transforms into the Wand of Uruk, a long golden shaft with a purple flower for a head. Convinced he can achieve anything with the Wand of Uruk, he sets off for Julie's house, and the book ends. I definitely appreciate how this book opens with some very genuine emotion and stakes before they even get to Droon. It's kind of a step up in the maturity of the series as a whole. It's just a very abrupt step up that this book represents, and it just keeps on happening as the book goes on, diving deep into the world's mythology and history and emotion. It's just really good stuff.
Yeah.
Adaptation.
I actually enjoy listening to you tell, recapping Siegfried's of Droon.
Oh, thanks, Buka.
I never heard of the stories before, so for someone who isn't familiar with it since childhood, it's very interesting. They should really translate them to Swedish and rent it at the library.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I'll make a cartoon of it, and then that'll get dubbed into Swedish.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I would actually be happy to translate that.
Yeah. Well, maybe it has been translated. It is pretty popular. I've seen audiobooks of it. Guess we'll find out somehow.
Oh yeah, I can find out.
Mm-hmm. So, my adaptational notes. The young Galen, who gets jokingly dubbed Galen No Beard in a later book, so that's what we'll call him to distinguish him from the elderly Long Beard and the young adult Short Beard, I envision being played by a young Haley Joel Osment type. There's only one Haley Joel Osment, of course, but, that type of really good actor. Kid. So there's the Stone Goblin, described as a man with the head of a dragon made entirely of stone. In my live-action fantasy, he's a suit performer. The Fire Goblin is very similar, but wreathed in CGI flame, and the Shadow Goblin is an all-CGI version made of pure darkness. For the voices of the Stone and Fire Goblins, I would respectively cast Jeff Bennett and Tom Kenny. You might think I'm wasting 2 of the greatest voice actors in the world on one-shot characters, but, well, I'm kind of running low on recurring characters to cast. For Hoja, I'm going to cast another popular voice actor in a live-action role, though this one's no stranger to doing such a thing, Kevin Michael Richardson. He's a big guy, and I envision his turban being just as big as his body, if that doesn't look too ridiculous, which it might. The young Spar, whom Eric identifies as Kid Spar, which is what we'll call him for future reference. Okay, check this out. Ought to be played by the same actor as Galen No Beard. So for those of you following at home, Galen and Spar are played by the same actor, both as young boys and as men. Why? Yeah, we're getting there. And finally, today in Keys and Kingdoms, we have entry number 21 in my collection. Just 191 titles to go. Oy vey. So, going by year, nothing noteworthy in 1956, and then in 1957 we have Old Yeller, the eternal story of a boy and his dog. One of those iconic films that everybody has to see, even if they end up regretting it. Oh, Puka.
I'm still hurting. Why did you do this to me? Why?
No, I had to do it. I even committed to it. We had to do it while we were here. It was important to me.
I cried!
Spoilers.
Everyone knows it's gonna be sad. It's no spoiler.
Okay.
Although I'm not saying what was sad.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get. Sorry, we lost connection with the microphone for a second there. I guess it got unplugged.
That sucked.
Yeah, what I was saying was that I was gonna get to the part where Naty cried, but she opened with it. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Everybody knows you're right.
Yeah.
We open on Fez Parker, the same actor who played Davy Crockett, now with a mustache, once again leaving his wife and kids for months on end to sell cattle out in Kansas. The film is set in Texas, apparently shortly after the Civil War, so it's a more proper Western. It's got that time period. 7 minutes in, I started worrying about the safety and well-being of the animals used in the film. Like, I highly doubt this film could claim no animals were harmed. And as the film went on, that just got worse and worse. Yeah, this movie was not big on the safety of animals, or the children in the shot with the animals.
Yeah.
Thus far, most of Disney's live-action films express a nostalgia for the good old days. Me, I can't help but think about how much living in that era must have sucked. Listen, I believe in hard work as much as the next guy, but I'd rather my kids not grow up plowing fields and building fences. That would suck.
Yeah.
I'd rather ethnic and sexual minorities and, women were treated with a modicum of respect. No amount of nostalgia can make up for that aspect of the not-so-distant past. In my day, we played kick the can and we liked it. No, you didn't. You were bored out of your skull that there weren't any real games to play. You're just jealous that we get whole masterfully crafted 3D worlds to explore and play in, and you can't figure them the fuck out. So our main characters are Travis, a teen farm boy, his little brother Arliss, and their mother Katie. And the dog, Old Yeller, so named because he's yellow, a word Texans apparently can't pronounce. Travis is, at the start, a jerk, especially to the dog. At one point, Travis swears to the dog that if he, the dog, eats the meat he's hanging up in the backyard, he'll shoot him. He then proceeds to deliberately hang up the meat low enough for the dog to easily reach it, and goes out the next morning with his rifle all ready to shoot him. Fortunately, the dog resisted, and Travis does eventually warm up to Yeller, but geez, that was over the top.
Yeah.
There's a black bear attack, and Yeller fights it. I remember when I was a kid, I saw a featurette on the VHS about how they filmed the scene. They had the dog's trainer and the bear's trainer just off screen, constantly yelling directions to the animals, so the scene was filmed without sound. That's pretty cool, I guess, but still, this is not a scene you could film today, and so much the better for it.
Yeah.
Travis is played by Tommy Kirk. The name rang a bell for me somewhere, and I looked into it and realized, yes, he's the same Tommy Kirk who appeared in a ton of cheesy B movies through the 60s and 70s, at least one of which appeared on Mystery Science Theater 3000. Kirk's name appears in the song Creepy Girl. My creepy girl, won't you be mine? I'll give you scrolls and fish and tinker toys and wine. I'll ditch these guys if you'll be my creepy girl. Be mine before movie sign. Ooh. You know that one.
No, I don't.
No? Okay. So,
For the record, I never seen Mr. The Thing.
Mystery Science Theater, yeah. It's a good thing. So unfortunately, they watch an entire movie every episode, so it's kind of, it's kind of hard to rewatch it, hard to catch up on it, but it's so good. It's such a good series. So Old Yeller, yeah, that's what we were talking about. So it's all life on the farm. There's a scene where raccoons steal some corn. There's much ado about milking a cow. There's a scene where Yeller's former owner, Mr. Sanderson, appears, asking for him back. We were a bit freaked out, even though the film was only half over, but he turns out to be a really good guy. Seeing how much Arliss loves the dog, he agrees to swap Yeller for a horned toad and dinner. He has dinner with the family and just lets the toad go. He asked for the toad just to make Arliss feel he was contributing, so that's sweet. I noticed he also addresses the dog as Yeller, so apparently he just never named him. As Sanderson leaves, he tells Travis to beware of animals with hydrophobia, which is evidently, by context clues, I'm going to take to be an old-timey term for rabies. Oy, that's some nasty foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Then Travis and Yeller get attacked by pigs, and it gets them both really nastily bloodied up. The mother lies to Arliss quite a bit, continuing on the theme Sanderson began when he offered to swap Yeller for a toad. She asks Arliss to fetch a lizard while she stitches Yeller up so he doesn't have to see it, and then tells him they're only pretending Yeller is sick. Their neighbor Lisbeth brings Travis a puppy. I really liked that puppy. It was cute.
Yeah.
The puppy is apparently old Yeller's, who had a tryst with Lisbeth's dog back when he was running around as a stray. Travis rejects it, saying he already has a dog, and Lisbeth is fucking devastated. It's easily the most melodramatic thing I've ever seen. But she gives the puppy to Arliss, and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Katie asks Lisbeth's dad for some help with the cornfields, and he responds by leaving Lisbeth there, where she remains for the rest of the movie. Kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
Later, there's a wolf attack, and Yeller fights the lone wolf. Travis takes careful aim and manages to hit the wolf while it's scuffling with Yeller, which is awesome. But they realize that for the wolf to attack alone like that, it must be rabid. So they keep Yeller confined for the next month or so to see if he's contracted it himself, and sure enough, just when they're ready to let him out, he too is foaming at the mouth and being aggressive. And then at the worst possible time, the fact that they never tell Arliss what's actually going on catches up to them, and he tries to release Yeller. But then, as we all know, Travis makes the adult decision to put Yeller out of his misery. And at this point, Naty was sobbing like mad.
Yeah. Because, for the record, this is some sensitive content I'm going to talk about, so you're welcome to skip it if you want. But truth is, me and my family had a dog, and turns out my dad was abusive to that dog when we went in home. So one day when I was actually 12 years old, I was in 6th grade, I came home to the apartment expecting our dog. It was a black German Shepherd dog, and he was nowhere to find. And the bastard lied into right to my face and said he was in a farm another place because he didn't like the city. And it was like 3 years ago I finally found out the truth. The bastard I called Dad abused our dog so hard that he was far too broken to be saved. So the
veterinarian.
The vet just said it was better put him out of his misery.
Well.
So I never got to say goodbye to a dog who loved me more than the bastard could ever do. So as I said, this is very sensitive content.
Yeah. Naty was regaling me with stories about her old dog for like half an hour after the movie ended.
It's my way to coping. We don't talk about the dog much home because everyone begins to cry like there's no tomorrow, so we can't talk about our old dog calmly. This was the only way for me to get it out.
Yeah, and that's what this movie's all about, really. It's about everyone's dog.
Yeah.
It's a sad joke of the universe that no matter what you do, humans live a lot longer than dogs do. So everyone has lost a few dogs in their life.
Yeah.
Anyway, after the death of Old Yeller, there's significant mood whiplash when their father returns home to cheerful banjo music. The dad learns the story of Old Yeller and goes to discuss it with Travis. He tells him that it's really rough and sad and that life is just like that sometimes. That, oddly enough, is the point where I started crying. Travis cheers up when Arliss's new puppy starts acting in a manner similar to Yeller, and the ending theme song indicates that they call him Young Yeller. Well, so this was the last film of my Sweden trip, also the last one I've actually purchased so far, so I might take some time off, talk about something else in this segment for a while. In the meantime, let's reflect on the films we've seen so far. I'm gonna pull up a list of them, and we will go into some unscripted talk about that whole deal. Okay, computer...
but we just... we make a little memory trip about the movies we've seen together.
Yes.
So tomorrow's gonna... we're recording this way before, but as for today, tomorrow's gonna be March 1st. So he leaves, Sage actually leaves tomorrow.
I do indeed.
Which is sad, but also lucky for me, because I have a day off from school. So I get to spend one last morning with him. Yeah,
she was gonna take off from school anyway, but turns out she's got that day off, so...
everyone got the day off for some reason. Maybe it's because it's a theme week.
Mm-hmm. So
anyways...
Here's all the films we watched. We started with Fun and Fancy Free.
Yep.
And,
Fun and Fancy Free was what we started with.
Any thoughts about, just our little journey through my big journey here?
Yeah. And next time I'm on this podcast, it's probably summer, and we're probably in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'll be working with my aunt, and hopefully Naty will get a chance to come this summer.
Yeah, the plans isn't finalized yet, because one of the obstacles is apparently 21st of July is my mom's 50th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
She's turning 50, so I really don't want to miss that, so I'm sitting and considering what should I do.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a big deal, and I felt it would be a dick move if I travel around that time.
Yeah, no, I agree. You gotta stick with your mom on that day.
Yeah, so, still thinking about how it's supposed to work.
Yeah,
But
after that...
I find a way. I always do.
Figure it out. So,
Also, for those who's interesting, me and Sage has been following up on the Rooster Teeth and shows.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of Ruby and Red vs. Blue, and
Red vs. Blue!
Yeah, so I'm thinking that might be a series that I do, if sort of reacting to every piece of Rooster Teeth animation, I think that would be an interesting series to start. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a reaction series since I've already seen most of it, but
well, it's alright.
It could be discussions, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, our point is, so the films that we've seen during my visit. Okay, so there's...
Yeah.
So... yeah, in fact, I think I'll talk about all the films we've watched so far. So there was Snow White, and no, I'm not going to talk about every film we've seen so far. That's a terrible idea. No, okay, but... how
about we just talk about our opinions?
Yeah, so Fun and Fancy Free, classic. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Contained some aspects of Nightmare Fuel, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There will be Nightmare Fuel in any Disney movie, however.
I wouldn't be Disney without it. And then there was Melody Time. By this point I was starting to get sick of the package films, but it still definitely had some real good qualities to it.
Yep.
Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, very iconic, real good stories.
For sure.
Yep. Cinderella, timeless classic.
Yeah.
Great one.
Everyone remembers Cinderella.
Yeah. Treasure Island, that was a whole lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
R.
Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan, very cool, very cool.
Peter Pan was cooler than Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Now I have to confess it.
You think?
Yeah, it was fun.
I-
Pirates and stuff.
I prefer Wonderland to Neverland myself.
Alright.
Yeah, but so that's good, you know.
It's me.
Something to discuss. Yeah.
And then 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
That was excellent. Yeah.
And more excellent, we watched it on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So great. Great date.
Yeah.
And I found Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, very interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Yeah, you know, it's probably. Yeah, if I had to rank all 21 films I've seen so far, I think Davy Crockett would go right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You not much fun about that.
Yeah. Lady and the Tramp is, you know, definitely an underrated classic, you know.
Oh yeah, it's lovely.
Kind of a low-key favorite of mine, you know. It's like it's not like one of my favorite Disney films, but it's definitely one that I, you know, see whenever it's on, for sure. And finally, yeah, Old Yeller. Just,
Oh yeah. Actually, Old Yeller is a very great movie, but doubles as tearjerker.
Yeah.
And there's one problem with me. I'm reading TV tropes so much that I'm using tropes for example.
Yeah, you speak tropes, yes.
Yeah. TV tropes will ruin your life.
Yep. And
Yep.
so, anything else to say to the people while you're on my show, Puka?
I don't know. How do you think this visit has been so far? Are you satisfied?
I am. You know, it's been a very good vacation, and you know, it's about time for me to return to real life.
Oh yeah, but you're actually very good when you working at the family restaurant in Wisconsin. It's a like 60s driving restaurant he works at. I really recommend stopping by Charlie's Drive-In.
Yeah.
You get not only great music and great view of classic cars, you get the most tastiest food you'll ever taste.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I actually love cheese curds a lot.
Yeah,
Like a huge lot.
and those are hard to find outside of the state of Wisconsin. So.
Yeah. Very sad. But I had a thought, can you make your own cheese curds?
Might be possible to find a recipe or something. You know, you gotta fry them. You know, you gotta deep fry them. So.
Oh yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it can't be too hard. It's just cheese. It's just breaded cheese and deep fried.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you know, I gotta. If I'm being honest, a topic that's really come into my head a lot is just, you know, it means just that I can't drive anymore, and so someone's going to have to drive me into work every single time, and I just don't know that I could live with that shame. It's really...
Honey,
but
it's
there's no
absolutely...
alternative.
honey, it's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of that. I don't think so, at least. Okay, maybe it seems like I don't know a lot, but... And maybe I don't know how to drive, but I want to learn to drive. I'm willing to give that a go. Like, why not?
Yeah,
If I'm going to live in US in the future anyways, then I better learn how to drive.
Yeah. And, you know, who knows, maybe I can relearn someday, though.
Yeah, first time you need therapy for that, because you almost got hit by a truck. That wasn't funny at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, my driving problem started long before that happened. I mean, I don't...
Yeah, maybe if you see a therapist about this, maybe you can come to the root of the problem.
Yeah, that'll... Because right now, I just have no idea what that is.
No, but it's always good to find the root of the problem and then try to think about what can I do to help myself. And most importantly, it's never shameful to call for help if you feel helpless. Like, you have friends, family, or just people who care for you, to allow them to help you. That is what I have learned recently. Took me long enough.
Yeah. It's, yeah, well, see where I am, you know. It's back to the U.S. for me tomorrow, and then back to Wisconsin as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And then,
I must say that it's surprisingly calm out in Wisconsin.
yeah, there's an occasional tornado, but
Yeah,
never while I've been there, though.
No, I suppose.
So, anyway, thank you for being here with me these past 8 or 9 episodes of my show.
Oh, thank you for coming to Sweden. You haven't been here since 2014.
Yeah.
Actually, you were supposed to come here, yeah, by Christmas time in December, but I'm actually glad you didn't. Because if you did, then we wouldn't spend these lovely months.
Yeah, I think everything went the way it was supposed to.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
I guess I'll be seeing you later, listeners. By listeners, I mean Kenzie, possibly Stacy. I don't know who else watches this, but
Let's hope, okay?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure somebody watches this because I get at least 7 views on every episode, but I don't know who listens besides Stacy and Kenzie. You know, whoever's out there, you know, just let me know.
Yes, let us know.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yes, will be highly interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sarcastic, by the way.
Yeah. No, I would quite sincerely like to know who else is listening to this. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it sounded like I was sarcastic, and I just wanted to make it clear I wasn't.
Yes, good call. Okay.
Bauchika wow wow.
God damn it, Tucker. There wasn't even a context to say about Chickabawa.
Yeah, it was kind of like a silence, you know.
Yeah, but he doesn't say it with a silence. He says it after a suggestive comment.
Yeah, say a suggestive comment then, so I can actually say it.
I can't think of one.
You suck.
About Chickabawa.
Okay, that was a good opportunity.
Yeah, it kind of worked. Yeah.
Can I make a voice ad for people to go watch Red vs. Blue, because it will be the best hours you'll waste your life on.
Yeah, you know, just I think you can do that as long as I disclaim that no, Rooster Teeth is not paying us. We do just not. We
just fans.
Maybe someday, hopefully, but yeah, right now we're just fans, and we're kind of maybe sort of suggesting that you watch Red vs. Blue, or maybe don't. Maybe just just watch our future reaction videos of the complete works of Rooster Teeth animation. Yeah.
Yes.
Which starts off with 10 seasons of Red vs. Blue, and then Ruby, and then
Yeah. We're gonna cover everything, I suppose.
Yep.
But we start with Red vs. Blue, and then Ruby, and then whatever comes after.
Yeah, it's after Ruby. There's X-Ray and Vav, which we've both seen.
X-Ray and Vav.
And then Camp, which I've seen all of. It's quite good.
Oh yeah, I've been pretty reluctant to watch Camp because it replaced X-Ray and Vav after Ray left Rooster Teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Call me petty, but that was how I was feeling about it.
Yeah.
But now when I've been trying more and more, my New Year's resolution is actually try more than I'm actually in mood for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give Camp a chance. like watch it and see what I feel about it.
Yep. And then beyond that, there's Ruby Chibi and Ruby Chibi and Nomad of Nowhere.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And Genlock, and we've seen most of it. And God, X-Ray and Vav is the only animated show they've ever had that actually ended. They just keep adding more and more animated projects. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I don't want Red vs. Blue to end, if I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen all season yet, but I don't want it to end.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only watched Red vs. Blue up to about season 11, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, and
we're gonna watch season 8 today.
Yes!
And we're also gonna finish Ruby Volume 3. I've seen all of Ruby, and so but the whole family's gonna get together to finish watching the first 3 volumes of Ruby.
Oh yeah, the point with watching Ruby was actually to get my younger sister hooked up on it, because she just watched ridiculous stuff anyways.
Yeah,
but it seems like it kind of backfired.
Yeah. What happened was, the whole family, Michelle and Nikki and the mom, they were all in there, and I said, hey, I wanted to show Stephanie Ruby, and so we bring in Steffi, and we watch 2 episodes, and Steffi's like, okay, thanks for showing me, I'm gonna go now, and so she leaves, but the whole rest of the family, they kept watching it with me.
Yeah, funny things.
Yep. I think I'm gonna have to put a timestamp for when we're no longer on any of the usual segments, and they're just kind of rambling.
Oh yeah, I think so.
That's what a podcast should be about. It should just be about what's going on in your life. I've been feeling kind of sick of the segments, anyways. I don't usually have much of a life to talk about, is all. So.
Oh no, your podcast has been more exciting since I appeared first time.
Yeah, it's definitely better when I have somebody.
Yes.
It's just, I've usually got Jeremy to talk about the Disney films before, and then I don't know who's gonna join me when I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh yes, that's gonna be kinda sad. Mm-hmm. Unless you put me on Skype. It would be probably too much static.
Yeah, probably wouldn't sound great.
Yeah, I suppose so. Either way, but yeah.
We don't have to keep talking.
I want to. This is fun.
Yeah.
Also, I had some problems with health.
Yeah, gallstone.
Yeah, it turns out I had a gallstone. Wasn't funny for me at all. So now I'm on a restricted diet. I can't eat anything with fat in, which includes cheese.
With no fats or oils or anything like that, and that's been very painful.
I have to live on carrots, That's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is for the greater good.
Yeah, let me tell you, you're doing a whole lot better than I would have. If I was on your diet, I would have lasted about an hour before going, fuck it, and just chowing down on whatever greasy, oily thing I could get my hands on and fuck my gallbladder.
Yeah, but you can die in that way, actually, if you don't have the right healthcare. And sadly, US doesn't have the best healthcare, no matter what kind of fatties think they are.
Well, now I'm sad.
Why?
Because I'm never gonna be healthy again.
Yes, you're gonna be healthy, and I'm gonna make sure of it, or I kick everyone asses to the next moon. Not this moon, but the next one.
The moon after that.
Yeah.
Phobos, I suppose.
It sounds like that villain in the Witch comic. Disney's Witch.
Yeah. Never seen that.
What?
I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen that. It's like Italian or something, isn't it? Or am I thinking of Winx Club? I know the difference between Witch and Winx Club. I know this, but one.
Well, I was never a fan of Winx Club, actually.
It's just those European magical girl pieces of shit. Yeah, I've heard of those. I'm familiar with them. Never
pieces of
shit.
Them. What are you even?
I don't think they're very good. I've seen
great.
Bits and pieces.
You're supposed to watch, read the comics, not watch the series. The TV series isn't that good to me, actually. Sure, it looks like it's gonna be good, but it isn't, so the comics are way better, actually. More detailed and... yeah.
Well, we really got on this for no reason. I just happened to mention the name Phobos, one of the moons of Mars, named for one of the sons of Mars in mythology, from which we get the word phobia.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, see, Ares, or Mars, he's had these two sons called Phobos and Deimos, fear and terror, and the two moons of the planet Mars are named after them.
Oh. Alright.
Yeah.
There we see. You learn something new every day.
And I'm surprised you didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Okay, then.
Alrighty.
Okay, well, let's see. Okay, well, while we're still here, let's see what's on my tape recorder. Okay, yeah, so on my tape recorder, I'm just pondering what to do about fan fiction, because, I'm kind of done with fan fiction, but I'm not done with it, It's like, I don't have time for it, but I want to finish my stories, so I'm just making a plan to do that.
You're just taking a break from fanfics. You can't have everything in your head for that every day, actually.
Yeah.
You need a break. Everyone needs.
Okay, D&D plans for the D&D campaign.
Yay.
What to do with those hookers that are staying at the Temple of Pelor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's what the next 3 messages are about. Is just thoughts about what their lives are like now. Okay.
Hey, Puka, may I do, like, the honors to play teeny tiny music that's funny?
Oh, God, I know what you're doing.
Isn't it funny?
Well, now this video is gonna get demonetized. It's funny because
shit.
It's funny because this video is not monetized, but that's okay.
This video is probably gonna be re-rated. I just cursed.
What? Just now? Well, I've been cursing through the whole podcast. It's okay.
What do you rate these videos as, actually?
I don't rate them.
You don't?
No, I don't think that's a setting.
Alright.
I'm not gonna block kids from listening to it just because I dropped a few F-bombs.
Alright.
Okay, so this is pretty cool. This was almost like a real podcast now for like almost half of the runtime. Now we've just been standing around talking like a real podcast. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll do that more often when there's a real tapas, real people to just hang around with and do a podcast with.
Yeah. Well, poddy.
I don't like that word.
I like it.
Sounds like you're peeing on it.
What?
Like you're going potty on it.
What? You Americans are crazy.
We speak English. We know what sounds right in English.
Well, in Swedish, when someone is doing a podcast, they just said, well, we podding.
Well, that works. That works. As a verb, it works. Podding. Yeah, that's fine. But not calling it a potty. That's just weird.
Wait, we just call it a pod then.
Can we just call it a podcast?
Alright, it's gonna be podcast. Pod.
You dork.
Yeah, but I'm your dork.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a nerd. And a geek, because I just bought Halo.
Yep.
I'm thinking about trying to do something with the Halo game I just got. I don't know how to, do it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure somebody will figure it out.
Yeah. Can't be that hard. If Initiative could do it, surely I can do it as well.
Yeah, that's how they got their start, man. We've gotta come up with something to start off like that. Our red versus blue, I'm thinking the choices, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We need headquarters, and we need all the disparate members of the team to actually live in one singular location, and it's just I hate thinking about the future. It makes me want to kill myself.
No, don't kill yourself. Leave the thoughts of future to me, okay?
Okay.
You're not allowed to think about the future, okay?
Okay, Puka.
Good.
All
Because
right.
I'm a woman who takes charge.
Okay, so all right, we're almost done here. Once we're done here, we'll
We're almost at 55 minutes.
Yeah, so there's 55 minutes just like that. Okay, so once
Boom,
we're done here,
yeah.
okay, so you're gonna finish finish drawing the characters of Page Turners, and
Yep.
we're gonna watch Red vs. Blue Season 8,
Yes!
and the second half of
I heard
Volume 3, and
Yeah, I heard Season 8 was gonna be good.
yeah, I think that's the season where they started adding like real animation.
Oh, we have to watch it soon.
Yeah, the Monty stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see, I've still got to edit and post this week's podcast, because the podcast's supposed to come out on Tuesday and it's Thursday now, and
Oh yeah.
but couldn't do that without your Page Turner's drawings, so yeah, finish those up.
Yes.
And okay, well, gonna miss you here on the podcast, Pookie. I'm gonna
Yeah,
miss you so
I know.
much. Alright, goodbye everybody. We'll see you next week. Same Tapas time, same Tapas channel.
Yep. Bye everyone. And I'm Naty.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Pookly-doo.
Alright, goodbye everybody.
Yeah.